So my name is Emma Conyngham and I'm from New Zealand and I'm the Director of Waste Free Celebrations. We make reusable items to take the place of disposables for any and all celebration, whether it's birthdays, weddings, Christmas, Hanukkah, Eid, wherever you make mess, we want to create high quality reusables. Yes, so we've been manufacturing in New Zealand since 2020 and I was employing all Afghan refugee women in New Zealand, and that was absolutely fantastic. But unfortunately our production costs are too high in New Zealand. We just can't compete in textiles and we didn't want to go under, so we had to change how we did things. So Rahila, who was my sort of head of production in Auckland and a very dear friend, said, don't go to China. I want to go back to Kabul and I want to open a factory up there. And so she came, 4 or 5 months ago and found this premises and set up all by herself. And I have huge admiration for Rahila because she's someone who only got education up to 14. And she got, married very young with 6 kids, and then her husband died and she was a refugee, raising 6 kids in New Zealand. And now she's back in Afghanistan running this, this huge business as her own business. So we have a mutual partnership between New Zealand and Afghanistan. So she's an absolute treasure and she's really leading the charge here.
13, I'm married. My husband I have 6 children. My baby boy 6 months old. My husband is died after them.
How did he die?
In Peshawar bomb blast. And a lot of struggle for 5 years in Pakistan. And my son is have from eyes. He blind. After father is dead, he blind. We know about people is going to overseas free. Someone give me address, go your son, maybe they help you for operation because there is 5 lakh, like a lot of money, I can't afford it. Then when I go, there is someone told me, like lawyer, no, you qualify for, you all is going, your husband is there, you're so struggling the life. I said, I don't have money for one bread, how can I go? They said everything is free. After 2 months, New Zealand take a refugee from Afghanistan. She told me, if you're happy, I send you to New Zealand. I said, everywhere, and my son is possible his medication, something like that. And after 1 year, my struggle, 1 year after I'm going to New Zealand, I'm so relaxed. Before I'm 38, around 28, 38 in Pakistan, I never think this is my country, no? Because I go back Afghanistan, we refugee in New Zealand go, they have program, they said, we ask both the same, you are your country. I'm relaxed. I never thinking we am go back, this is my new country. If anything I want, I can do it in New Zealand. I'm so happy from New Zealand. New Zealand for me in Afghanistan is same.
They're both home.
Both home.
I have history with Afghanistan because I was a humanitarian aid worker here for 3 years, back 2004 to 2006, so I knew the country. Here I am 20 years later, investing. We've bought all these machines to put together a sewing room and to open up the factory here, and to employ all women who are sort of restricted in their employment options now under the Taliban. But they are allowed to sew, and we've got a fantastic team here. And you can see here in our setup that this is not a sweatshop. This is actually a really lovely house. It's actually a home with a huge amount of space. There's lots of light, there's lots of air, there's a lovely break room and tea room, and the ladies can sew in their own hours. And so there's a lot of flexibility for them to still care for their families, or if they're sick, they're not punished, they don't lose their job. So we're, really good to the Afghan women. But on top of that, we've put solar panels all on the roof of the building with big batteries, so that our sewing machines, which are very power hungry, are all powered by the sun, and that helps a fuller picture of environmentally how we're made. This here is our solar power setup. So it's raining, I can't get on the roof to show you all the panels, But we now have all of these batteries. These are the inverters, and this is what is powering our sewing machines. We are currently applying for grant money to try and get some more so that we can run more machines and employ more people, but we need some help to do this, so we're knocking on donor doors at the moment. But this is the final part of what is making us tick.
All the time I'm thinking, how can I some project, because I have no education, no study, anything, no money, nothing, power.
So what level education did you get?
My education when I'm younger, 6 years.
To year six.
Yes.
And now you're back in Afghanistan running a business that employs, how many women have you got?
I have 26, but I get 2 time. Morning.
They sew in shifts.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 time, now 26. Before I'm coming to New Zealand, I'm a little bit stronger. But I'm come here, I'm so broken. Because I see how can I help them? I said, I'm really sorry. If I have machine, I have somewhere I get machine, I'm never get a wait list. I get you job. If I have chance, some way I will. I think God help me in some way for me coming for machine. I want to thousand ladies get work. I feel like that. I hope.
So in the door behind me, I can't go in because it's full of ladies who haven't signed consent forms for their photos to be taken. But this is every single morning. The banging starts outside at about 7 o'clock in the morning. The room fills with women begging for work, and Rahila has to go in and spend an hour every morning consoling them that there are no jobs left, that all the places are taken. We need more machines so that we can employ them, and there is a link on our page called Yes I Want to Help. If you want to pitch in some money for some more sewing machines, then we can employ more people. Go to our website, wastefreecelebrations.com, and donate, and then we can help employ some of these people. But until then, we have to turn them away every day. We have to be quite honest that when we've got too many orders, we do have to offload them to a factory that we're working with in Pakistan. But the idea is the more we sell, then the more the profits can be fed back into Kabul to buy more machines to employ more people. So we're on a growth pattern where we want to increase our capacity in Afghanistan. But we have to do it in quite a practical way. We also have to be very cognizant of the challenges. I think anyone in business who hears that we've started up in Afghanistan thinks that we're absolutely bonkers because of the multiple risks involved here. In terms of security, which is of course one big risk, shipping and freight and logistics is another really difficult one. We have to freight out through Turkhan, through the border to Pakistan, and that's a really difficult passage. And then you've got the political situation between Pakistan and Afghanistan, and that's not an easy one to negotiate either. And then get everything down to Karachi and then off to New Zealand, Australia, the US, the UK, wherever we're selling. There's a lot of challenges there. There's challenges with moving money to Rahila to pay her team here, which is all done above board, but it has been a very, very big steep learning curve in terms of how to do business here. But I have found Afghanistan very, very welcoming of investment. They want people to work and they want women to work. Now, there are jobs that women are restricted from doing. That's not something I want to get into, but they are allowed to work and they are allowed to sew. And so this is a job that we specifically want to employ women for. We're doing a balancing act between a pragmatic approach of employing who we can, where we can, how we can, with a product that people are going to buy, the product that's already been selling for years in New Zealand and Australia and going really well, so we know that there's a market for it.
So after 6 hours of wandering through alleyways of Kabul in the markets, we have come to this gorgeous little perfumery shop, and these guys have put together the most awesome little Christmas cracker fillers in frankincense, myrrh and rose, all pure essential oils. And I just want you to know that when you buy these from us, This is where they come from, in a tiny little market stall in Kabul.
It's really exciting to know that what we're doing is good for the environment and that it's really good for the women here. Our tagline is give joy, not waste. We want to keep tradition. We want to keep all the traditions of gift giving, because if gifts are your love language, then the wrapping and how that gift is presented is really important. And we want to keep that there, but we want to do it with all the colour, with all the joy, and with all the tradition, but without the waste. And so we're hoping to take down the wrapping paper industry. It's our big audacious goal, to get rid of single-use packaging, because that is what wrapping paper is. And moving into reusables, I think is the next step. It's an easy step, and it's not a hard one to do. So whether it's crackers, whether it's wrapping paper or gift bags or decorations for parties and party hats, all of those disposable items that are throwaways, we are now producing high quality reusables. In New Zealand, we go through enough wrapping paper each Christmas to go around the earth 1.5 times. In Australia, they use enough wrapping paper to go around the earth 4.5 times at Christmas. In the UK, they use enough to go to the moon. And in the US, it's hard to get data from the US, but on a per capita basis, it looks like they use enough to go to the moon and back 9 times in wrapping paper each Christmas. And that's just single-use packaging that goes straight into the bin. If we can disrupt that, if we can end that by using reusables that are beautifully, ethically made, then I think we're on to a winner. A simple product, but it's a winner.